I love it whenever this happens. So, just about a month ago, these two played against each other in the grand finals of DreamHack Dallas. Now they faced off against each other in the round of 8 of the GSL Code S. Spotting right here in the top right-hand corner, playing with the blue Zerg drones, we have none other than Solar. His opponent down in the bottom left with the red SCVs, he goes by the name of Maru. Alrighty, now this is the type of matchup, right, that is interesting to me. So, spoiler alert for that previous series that they played. They played in that €50,000 or $50,000 tournament. And Maru ended up winning 4-1 at the time. Obviously, that is it's difficult, right? It's a difficult matchup to really predict. But more often than not, Maru will be the favorite when these two play against each other. But Solar is perfectly capable of winning a series like this, and I can imagine he is not too happy with the results of DreamHack Dallas. Getting second place is nice, but I have never once seen a StarCraft 2 player be happy with getting second place. I've never once seen a real competitor in anything be content with getting second, so there's a little bit more on the line than just this best of 3 series, you know? We don't just have the game's results and, well, obviously the win in the round of 8 on the line, but we also have our mental victory here. We have a bit of a mind game going on in a match like this for sure, because this is the type of series that will mean a little bit more for Solar than it ordinarily would. That being said, he doesn't really play a particularly spicy style, and I don't believe he's going to be the type of player that can really catch Maru off guard. Maru is just an absolute macro monster and perfectly capable of playing a wide variety of strategies. Now, I've said this in every single Maru series that I've casted so far this year, and maybe it's getting a little bit old, but Maru at the beginning of the year didn't really look like Maru. He took a bit of a break. Apparently, he had some sort of shoulder issues. From what I've heard, his military service is no longer mandatory because apparently he messed up his shoulder so bad playing StarCraft 2 that he no longer needs to, which is, I guess, kind of nice for him. I mean, I would personally hate it if I had to go and take a year and a half to hang out in the military. Not really something that I would want to do, but anyways, I know Korean culture in general is a little bit different when it comes to that sort of thing. But either way, Maru doesn't have to go anymore. And it seemed to me that at the beginning of the year, he took a bit of a break from the game. Then with all of the tournaments announced, he decided to pick it back up. It took him a little bit to get back into the swing of things, but of course, the result at DreamHack Dallas speaks for itself. Getting himself a premier tournament victory. Good bit of pocket change too, especially with how stacked that particular tournament was. Basically, all of the top-level players were there, and, well, these two made it to the finals. Yeah, it means that Maru, once more, is back in full swing. Now, he's bullying an Overlord here. It's a little bit mean. The Overlord is very dead. A couple Zerglings, though, did run through. We have an armory coming up in the main base, and that is a really, really nice scout right here for Solar, who sees here that the opponent is very likely trying to rush out some Hellbats. The only reason why you would go for an armory at this point in the game is if you want to go for a Hellbat rush. Now, will Solar respect it? That's the main question, right? Sometimes when you scout something like that, the opponent will just give up on it. Maru may just double down. I mean, you always need an armory. Armories are only 50 gas these days, so they're really not too expensive. He's still going to commit, but I think Queens and Lings alone will be enough. It's just 2 of them for now, 2 more Hellions joining in. Yeah, Queens and Zerglings are going to be enough. This is a sketchy attack, though, for Maru. He needs to deal some sort of damage to justify this, and he just was scouted. Great control so far here by Solar. I don't think he's going to let this army escape. Well, maybe he will. Ooh, really? So we saw Gumiho do this in the GSL. Maru is going to play Terran Mech as well. Didn't expect that. Maru is not a mech player in my mind at all. So in those games that Gumiho played, he started off with Terran Mech and then transitioned into Battle Mech, and then he transitioned towards Battle Cruisers. Now, I highly doubt we're going to see Maru climb the tech that high. He's not really a battle cruiser. I don't even remember last time I've seen Maru make a battle cruiser. He might, you know, not even know that that is a unit anymore. But this is certainly out of character. Double Tech Lab coming up. Yeah, he's going to be playing the Cyclone style instead, I believe. Lair here building though for Solar. 5 minutes on the dot. Roach Warren also coming up. Even though this isn't a very popular strat, it is something that has never really left the meta that far. And Solar is somebody that will be very methodical, right? So Solar likes to play stock standard Zerg. In general, he will know the answer to every problem that you throw at him. And I feel like Solar is one of the very best defensive players on the planet. So if anybody can show us how to deal with Terran Mech like this, I think it should be Solar. At this point, though, he doesn't really know. I mean, there are 5 Hellions here, which is a bit funky. Why would there be additional Hellion production? He now also sees that there are more Hellions over at the 3rd. Why would there be more Hellions? You don't generally make one group of Hellions and then wait a little bit and then make more Hellions again. Usually the factory's reactor gets used for something else. So already I think Solar has a couple of alarm bells going off in his head, because normally the Hellion production should be halted by now. He's still looking around. He wants confirmation. Seeing a cyclone would be big. Honestly, just seeing a bunch of Hellions set up to like deny, and now he sees the factories. He knows now exactly what he's going up against. So let's have a look. We've got the Roach Speed coming up. +1 missile will be his weapon of choice. Now this, by the way, is a strategy that Solar has been quite vocal about. He specifically tweeted about this. I rarely see pro gamers tweet anything about specific strategies, because it kind of sounds like you're complaining, but the Cyclone is currently bugged. The Cyclone's lock-on ability is faster when it's cooldown, as far as its cooldown goes, than it's supposed to be. So I wonder if that's the reason that Maru decides to bring this strategy out. He's like, yo, you were complaining about this build? Lol. Yo, bro, you were complaining about this specific strategy? Okay then, buddy. I kind of love it. It's such a prick move here of Maru, I'm not going to lie. Because he obviously knows that Solar has been complaining about this particular strat. Ooh. There's no XP denying in this game, Solar. He just killed one of his own queens there. He really wants to keep this hatchery alive, but it's never going to happen. Easy snipe right here by the Terran player. Little Zergling run by in the meantime on the other side of the map, though. Solar is capable of fighting this army straight up, but Maru rarely is going to give him a straight up fight. Just driving those Cyclones backwards. We have a nice little Roach counterattack, though, and this Roach counterattack has real potential, because the majority of the Terran units are currently on the other side of the map. Good micro here, though, by Maru thus far, but look at the supply count. You can kite, but you can't kite forever. At some point, the Cyclones need to find another way, well, that they can run. 4th Command Center is going to get cancelled. Solar decides to morph in the low HP Roach into a Ravager. And he is just sending every single unit that he's got towards the other side of the map. Blue Flame Hellion trying to see if it can potentially finish the one little Ravager cocoon, but it's not going to happen. As Solar is now forcing the opponent to lift up. And that 3rd base is indeed going to get denied. Ooh, body blocking here by the Hellion. Unfortunately, Maru loses another siege tank because of it. And bugged unit or not, cooldown shorter than it's supposed to be or not, this is still well managed by Solar. Now we have an infestation pit coming up. 4th base is remaking. Blue Flame Hellion run by, of course, something that needs to be respected, but it's not going to be particularly great when it comes to denying structures. Okay. Enough roaches available for now. The real weapon of choice that Zergs usually like to employ against this sort of strat is, of course, Vipers. So, Vipers here. You could even go Swarmos if you really want to, but I think in this type of game, Vipers make a lot more sense here for Solar. He does need a hive for that, though. Okay, some nice corrosive balls do go down, and he's just trying to brute force his way through all of this. Oh, we're going Swarmosts! We're going Swarmosts! That's why you built an infestation pit and not a hive. Solar really is trying his best to deny this base from the Terran repeatedly. I think he's okay with the Terran having 3 bases, but yeah, this is what he needs to make sure it does not happen in this game. 4-base Terran mech can max out. 3-base Terran mech, not nearly as scary. We have some attempted Hellion run-bys here by Maru again, mostly just trying to buy time. It all comes down, generally, to the first wave of the Locusts. The more damage you can deal as a Zerg player with the first wave of Locusts, the better life is going to be. These Hellions were sacrificed, but they did kill 7 drones, and maybe even more importantly, they see the advance right now of the swarm hosts. Look at the supply count. It is bloated. Solar has, well, basically 200 supply, but it's just this, really. It's not that many units. He's trying to get all of the locusts together before he activates them. Nice boxing there, making sure that these units do not immediately swoop to the ground. He's going to target down the siege tanks, I believe. Yep. Trying to send in the locusts around the side too, while allowing the roaches and the ravagers to tank a bunch of damage. But I think all of that was managed reasonably well by Maru. He did lose a few units there, but not nearly as many as you would imagine. Still though, I think that was good enough for a first wave for Solar. Solar sending as many units as he can across the map once more. Hive begins too, I like that. Maybe Hydra then, or a Spire to go into Lurkers or Brute Lords eventually. Not a bad choice. Either way, a new Locust wave will be available real soon, and there it is. We're going to immediately send in another group of the Swarm. No Nidus with this. No real shenanigans. One siege tank, yep, will indeed go down. We have another group of corrosive balls onto this one. He's barely not getting the kill on it initially. Not the cleanest engagement there for Solar, but certainly good enough. I like the one infester here a lot. Hydra then, by the way, coming up too for Solar. I think we'll probably see a Hive in just a moment. Or sorry, a Lurker then. As that Hive is almost done here in just a moment. 4th base gets spotted. Orbital command at the 4th base feels insane to me. Maybe Maru felt like he was cruising when he built that, but that should have definitely been a planetary fortress. It means that Maru really has locked himself onto 3 bases. And here comes another wave of Locusts. Another siege tank will likely go down, although the Hellbats are trying their best to keep all of this running. Corrosive Balls, though, are going to be hard to stop. And even though none of these traits are going to be too cost-effective for Solar, it is still more than enough. Yeah, Maru is just not able to get this army maxed out. So even though he technically has all the structures for it... Oh, blinding. Oh, yeah, nice fungal. Even though he has all of the structures to max out, he needs to be given a bunch of time. And Solar is not likely to give it to him. Another nice fungal growth as well. Yeah. It's not easy, though. This is still not over here. If Maru is given like a minute, he is likely to just stabilize in this position. This is a good wave, though. 2 Cyclones end up going down. He's looking for the Swarm Host, and he does get a couple of them. Not bad. Solar's still maxed. He's been maxed out for a long time. Replacing the lost Roaches and Ravagers right now with a bunch of Hydras instead. I don't mind it. I would love to see a Lurker Den. I think a Lurker Den transition here would be nice, but I guess it's a bit expensive. He doesn't have a lot of minerals and gas. There is enough energy for a fungal? No, there is not. Barely not. And both of the infestors go down. Good target firing right there by Maru, who did, by the way, sneak out that command center around the other side again. This time around, though, nothing to really protect. Looks like the majority of the Terran units are going to be forced back into the natural expansion. And even though it's only a single Roach, a bunch of Zerglings are going to join in now. These bases are difficult to get going. Yeah, so Maru's supply count here on the bases is mostly the same this entire game long. Obviously, the problem he's running into soon is that the main and the natural will start running out. I mean, we're 14 minutes into this game almost. There's nothing going on anymore in the main base. Natural is not going to be far behind either. Even the 3rd has a couple of skinny mineral fields now. So if Solar can maintain this position for another few minutes, Maru is going to bleed out. And that's exactly what Solar is trying to achieve here. Even though it kind of looks like we have this nice tug of war, this constant back and forth between the armies, this is destined now to be a Solar victory. It requires a pretty big screw up now for the Zerg player to let this one slip through his fingers. And I really like that he built those infestors here, man. Those infestors just make it really difficult for the Cyclones to continue chasing this. Maru's getting some really good value, though, with those Cyclone lock-ons. There's another fungal, making it difficult for the Terran player to retreat. We really need to make sure that that base is not mining. Just a handful of units in that mineral line would be all he really needs. Swarmo's numbers, by the way, only down to 4 now. Replacing this entire army with Hydraling and then a bunch of infestors. Okay. 15 minutes in. Main base is completely out. That's why this base needs to be denied so badly. Solar, though, can just, yeah, run in that direction. Using the leftover Swarmos right now as a distraction. Nice movement right there by the Zerg. Forcing the liftoff. Kills 33 SCVs too, by the way, in the process. Yeah, and bugged Cyclone or not, Solar is still showing us how you can deal with this sort of strategy quite nicely. I like overall the approach here that Maru took in this particular game. But I feel like as soon as he let his foot off the gas, as soon as it was Solar's turn to decide to be the aggressor, this game has slipped out of Maru's fingers. When he first sniped the 4th, the game looked pretty solid for him. Scanning the main base at least reveals that we won't see like a transition towards lurkers here. But I mean, Vipers are a very real opportunity here. Now there's a Roach left behind. Base at the very bottom, yeah, is going to be his next likely choice. That is where that command center is going to try and go again. He's now struggling, though, to catch up with about, I don't know, 5% of the Zerg's actual army. Okay, maybe more like 25%, but still. I like the split here by the Zerg. A nice fungal growth as well. Making it very difficult for the Terran units to actually get away. GG gets cold. Brilliant game right here by Solar. Next up, we find ourselves on Tokamak. Cheeky Maru. Do you think he's going to play Cyclones 2 games back to back? Pro gamers do this all the time, man. It's kind of funny. Like, most of the guys obviously know each other for a long time. This game is, well, now nearly 15 years old, and the pro gamers have known each other for about as long. Many of them come from StarCraft 1 as well. They used to play StarCraft 1 competitively before switching to StarCraft 2, and they may even know each other from StarCraft Brood War. So many of these dudes probably go like at least a decade, some of them even 2 decades back, right? And usually, the pro gamers aren't just competitors, right? They play against each other all the time, but they're also generally pretty good friends. Obviously, there's always people that don't really get along with others that well. That's just how these sort of things go, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Maru saw that tweet from Solar complaining about the bugged Cyclone and then decided, you know what? I believe we're playing very soon in a tournament. You know what? Let me be a bit of a prick. Wouldn't be surprised if Solar immediately, maybe it was 100% technical, you know? Maybe Solar complained about it on Twitter just to bait that strategy out of the opponent, because he very clearly knew how to manage it in the previous game. Anyway, we must go deeper. What is the positioning right over here on this barracks, guys? What are we looking at? Why not build it over here? Where are we? Maru went to the same school where Hero learned to wall off. What is this? Good things these guys aren't playing StarCraft 1 at this point in time. Walling off in Brood War is like, it requires about the same level of education as a PhD. If you think you know how to wall off in StarCraft 1, spoiler alert, you probably don't. It's very complex, actually. Also because it differs per spawn location. So a lot of the maps have like 4 spawn locations. How do you... Well, you have to basically learn how to do it perfectly every single time. It gets very messy. Either way, Maru is going to be able to complete the wall eventually. And obviously the pathing in StarCraft 2 is plenty good, so he can wall himself in. Maybe it's fine, actually. Yeah, the Hero wall-offs are very curious to me. Because Hero likes to misposition literally his very first structure. Like, there's nothing going on in the game, and Hero is like, pylon right over there in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, Hero, why? Why would you put the pylon over there? Maybe Maru was a little bit late sending the SCV down to the low ground for the barracks or something, and he just kind of put it down at the first possible location. Either way, we have a little bit of a march around the map again. Technically very risky. Zerglings are coming up right now here for Solar. If he snipes these Marines for free, which I think is what we're just about to see, because we have 10 links popping out soon, these Marines are not going to achieve anything. Hellions need to join up ASAP. Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go! Go! Alright, Lenny and his pals show up. Oh, dude. Solar, you can just kill it. Solar is giving his opponent too much respect here. He believes that this is a distraction. Yeah, maybe it was a bit of a distraction, but I think he could have killed the Marines and then still been back at the home to kill those Hellions as well. 2 Hellions are not enough to one-shot drones anyway. Okay, Maru getting away with murder. And this is one of those things that you can really only pull off against Solar. Solar is very reliable, you know? He's very nice when it comes to that sort of thing. He's not gonna bully you too much. If you give that exact opportunity to somebody like Shin, somebody like Rogue, somebody like Dark, those Marines would have been dead. Anyways, Jemmy and his friends made they made their way back home. Maybe they're still gonna die. They're still on the wrong side of the wall off. Yeah, why are you guys still here? Why didn't you, like, go behind the wall? Why did we make the wall if we're not gonna use the wall? Maybe it's a wall that just is there to look pretty? Very strange decision here, honestly, for Maru. Like, what's the point of a wall if we're not gonna use it? Maru building his own castle, digging a moat around it, but he decided to put his throne room right outside in the middle of the grass. What's the point, man? Why did we build the castle? 4th hatchery is coming up. Now, Hellions don't do a lot of damage to structures, but if the hatchery gets built right underneath them, they can sometimes actually get the job done. Roach Warren coming up, though, together with double evolution chamber. Maru's gonna try and go around the side here. Gets the creep tumors at least, that's nice. Stimpack together with 1-1, just about to finish. But I mean, now that the Marines are dead, there's only 6 of them, you can't really do much. Honestly, losing those Marines really slows down the Terran a ton. It effectively means that Maru can't really go for a timing attack. If you contrast this to like the style that, for example, Clem likes to go for, where it's non-stop layered pressure on top of more layered pressure, right? This has been stopped dead in its tracks just because 7 Marines died to 15 Zerglings for no reason. It means that Maru really can't do any aggression here. He can barely fill up a medevac. It just slows everything down so much. Okay, well, we are going to test the waters a little bit. This was supposed to be a full drop. Instead, we end up with partially full medevacs. There's already roaches out, though, and plenty of queens. As long as the roaches are in the right position, this should be very holdable. Hellbats join in too. Okay, fair enough, but where's those roaches? Roaches alone are going to be good. Imagine this attack with 7 more Marines, right? Like, I mean, it could actually deal a significant amount of damage, but now it just gets shut down with ease. Solar has a really nice classic timing attack coming up. +1/+1 for the roaches, together with roach speed. These upgrades will not finish up right around the same time. So we are still going to have to wait until the 1-1 finishes, but I believe that this is going to be quite a scary attack. One of the medevacs, by the way, not here. Where's the other medevac? Am I... Sorry, what just happened? Oh, okay. I thought I was hallucinating. I saw 2 medevacs pick up 2 Hellbats each, but apparently he decided to then transform them in the main base now? Okay. All a little bit funky. All a little bit strange. As a StarCraft caster, you spend an awful lot of time looking at the minimap and the production tab. So I saw the medevac drop go in. I was like, wait, this has to be the Hellbats, but how do we get 4 Hellbats in the main base with 1 medevac when I just saw 2 of them pick up? Anyways, here comes Solar with the sledgehammer. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And Solar is just about to do the Zerg equivalent of punching the other guy in the mouth. Now maybe pushing up this choke point is going to be suboptimal. Okay, he decides to go for the second set of rocks. He needed to wait for upgrades and reinforcements to show up, but here we go. A 70 supply advantage for the Zerg player. Maru has had fun in games so far, but what about this attack? Well, nobody does this sort of defense better than Maru. So far, the siege tank somehow has remained untouched. Bunker, though, is going to fall. There's another bunker, but that one is mostly empty. Those corrosive piles also mispositioned, but I think Solar just has the numbers. Yeah. More than enough stuff right here for the Zerg player to overwhelm this. And even if the Terran does stabilize, that is 25 SCVs down the drain, and effectively a soft contain right now on the Terran. Only 2 expansions here, and one of them got denied. In the meantime, Zerg has finished up the 4th. He can go into a hive, he can go into whatever. He's just remaxing though. I think he's gonna try and see if he can break through the natural expansion too. Alternatively, he can just sit out here, right? Just use this as an opportunity to contain the Terran on 2 bases. In like 5 minutes from now, they're gonna have to move out and take another expansion anyway. He decides to not give the opponent that much time. Corrosive balls are gonna be plenty good. I gotta say that the corrosive balls from Solar have not been that great so far in this series. Okay, that's gonna be perfectly 3. It will be enough, although we add a 4th in the mix too for no apparent reason. Yeah. GG though, he's got more than enough stuff. And that indeed means that the Zerg player gets revenge. After losing the DreamHack Dallas Grand Finals to Maru, well, at the very least, he managed to get the 2-0 win in the round of 8 of the GSL. I mean, it's something. He would have much preferred winning the DreamHack Dallas tournament, okay? But at the very least, Solar got his revenge at last.